You're entering the wind tunnel with Jack Harvey. No spin, no bull, all Jack.
Seriously. And again, I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt. It's a no-hold-bars visit with yours truly, Jack Harvey, and now joined by Mario Andretti.
You're talking to me, of course.
I'm talking to you. Yeah, of course I'm talking to you, Roger Penske.
Let's get back to racing. We need fans in the stands. And Jack, I thank you.
Jimmy Johnson in the house.
That's a lot of fun. I mean, what a fun car.
Then TT IndyCar owner, Chip Ganassi.
Thanks, Jack. Great to catch up with you. Great to talk, and hope you're well, and I'll see you on the trail here somewhere.
Wind Tunnel is brought to you by
Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR.
Here is your host, Jack Harvey.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of this little Coco Clutch and harmonica recital that I like to call the Wind Tunnel. Now, we have a pretty packed show for you this week that includes Alaska's top stock car driver, NASCAR's newest Daytona 500 winner, and an IndyCar team that intends to earn its way into the elite of not just the NTT IndyCar series, but across the motorsports industry. The saga of Meyer-Shank Racing is, in my estimation, a model of what can be done in the middle of a pandemic. In 2020, with dark clouds of uncertainty cloaking not just the motorsports industry, but we all know the world in general, Michael Shank and his partner, Jim Meyer, expanded their IndyCar program to a full-time operation, increased their footprint in the IMSA WeatherTech division with a factory-backed Daytona prototype effort, forged an alliance with Honda, and built a world-class facility outside of Columbus, Ohio. Now, this year, Shank and his IndyCar driver, Jack Harvey, embark on their second full-time year in the series. And, by the way, will be joined for 6 of the races, including the season opener in Alabama and the Indy 500 by the effervescent 3-time Indy 500 champion, Helio Castroneves. I'm pleased to have Michael Shank and Jack Harvey join me here in the Wind Tunnel. Hey, guys, it's good to have you on board.
Thanks, Jack. I love coming and talking to you, and Jack just loves to talk, so he'll be happy to be here.
Well, and
Thank you.
You know, Shank, in the off season, he hasn't had anybody to talk to.
Yeah, it's going to be a long morning for you, Jack.
Look,
I'm kidding.
I'd like the update on the shop, because from what I've seen and what you've shared with me in the past, I mean, it's not even fair to call it a shop because it's so all encompassing, Shank.
Well, it's 2 or 3 times bigger than what we have today. And we look forward to moving in, hopefully around June 1st. It's all under roof now. The winter was pretty harsh here in Ohio this year, so a little bit behind there, but got a great shop manager in Matt Swan that kind of leads my project over there. And every day we work on it, and every day they're over at the site. In the meantime, we have to keep Jack going and all the other programs we have. So it's an exciting time. I think really when you dig into this a little bit and you look at, when Jim Meyer came and partnered with us, and then he brought Liberty Media this past year, it's been an incredible time and a lot of great announcements. And to be honest, Jack, we have a lot to look forward to.
Harvey, with the new shop, you're going to have luxurious digs there for you as a driver's lounge?
We may have to work on putting that one in. Actually, when I went to Columbus last week and actually saw it myself for the first time, I mean, it's mightily impressive. And I think when you rattle off, what the team has done, some of that infrastructure was put in place before COVID, but then the way the team really handled and dealt with everything that 2020 threw at us to be able to actually achieve all the things that you just mentioned, I think just shows you the character in the team, the kind of person that, Michael and Jim are, and just the great people that they inspire to work with them as well. It is incredibly impressive. I think it should be called the factory. I mean, a shop feels like the sort of thing you go, and get like a little bit of milk from, down the road. But I mean, the factory is so impressive. It's going to be really, really cool. And, I just can't wait to see the guys, move into this, purpose-built brand new building.
Hey, Shank, I think at least Harvey deserves maybe one of those beach chairs over in the corner.
Yeah, we got plenty of room for Jack. He knows that. So.
We got actually, he was saying that they're putting a gym in as well. So we're going to come and just like hang out and in the gym. And maybe we got these pretty cool Swaggertron electric scooters. So, I mean, we can just razz around on them.
Hey, you're about to get pretty busy. All right. We were delayed a little bit in terms of starting the season, but looming straight ahead on tax weekend, we open up at Barber Motorsports Park. I want to know, Harvey, how have you stayed busy in the off season? Because you did mention a while back that in the middle of the off season, you got a little bored.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we came back from Christmas, went straight into a test at Sebring, and everything went, really smoothly. It was a nice way to start the year and get kick started. Then kind of because of COVID and because of the schedule changing a bit, we ended up changing our testing program a bit. And a test that we had scheduled for early February became early March, and there was probably like a 2-week spell there where everybody else on the team was so busy, whether it was the guys at Daytona or some other bits that we had going on with the IndyCar program. But everyone was so busy doing their thing that I was like, okay, I guess I better stay busy doing something, and outside of just going to the gym, I started clay pigeon shooting again out here, as a way to kill the time. But seeing how busy the year is going to get, you feel bad complaining that you're bored, because there's going to come a time in like 3 months from now where you're going to be desperate for a weekend off, so it's a little bit of a learning process to try and, be available when I'm needed. After that, I can't sugarcoat it. It's not always like there's something to do every day.
Forgive me. The vision of you in a shooting range, aiming a shotgun at clay pigeons, has just got disaster written all over it.
No, he's good. No, he's good. He's good. He's really good.
No, I'm good. My granddad, actually, I'll tell you offline. My granddad had this great.
Wait. Time out. Nobody's listening, Harvey. Okay, so don't go. I'll tell you offline. Tell us now.
He had this great phrase when it came to shooting, and he said, "I'm not gonna get in trouble for this, am I?" No. He's like, "You need to be in front of a guy when he's behind him when he's shooting, and then you'll never get or shot."
Continuing our conversation with a pair that beats a full house, Michael Shank, the owner of Meyer-Shank Racing, I should say co-owner, and Jack Harvey, who is auditioning to be part of the next Seinfeld episode as a comedian. Michael, I want to go back because you have always had, I think, a vision. And you mentioned a couple of years ago when Jim came on board, he's one of those go-getters. I mean, he has excelled in the business world. And together you shared some of your thoughts. He shared some of his thoughts. And then you forged a controlled growth. How's that going?
I would say to plan. I would say completely to plan, if not better than planned. I've just seen so many people come and go in this sport. From an ownership standpoint, people that can afford to do it, but spend too much money too quickly, burn out. They have maybe not the results they want, or maybe even they have the results they want, but eventually it just wears them to nothing. So we have to have a sustainable business to keep, if we want a partner involved, right? And that means we can't be going back to the well for money every month. Mm-hmm. So that was my model going into it with Jim, and he's looking at me like, yeah, I hear you. But and by the way, I think I've done a good job managing that expectation with Jim too. We haven't lost money yet, but anything's possible. But I think he appreciates that, and the longer he's in it, the more he appreciates it, and the more he trusts me and Jack and everybody that we're trying to lead the business down this path. And when Liberty came on board, they strip searched us. They looked at all of our financials for a very, very long time to understand kind of where we were, where we've been, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we didn't have anything to hide. financially. And that's because of, between my wife and myself and she keeping us pretty tight on the dollar, especially early, Jack. We've ended up getting to this really cool kind of conservative but effective place. So do we want nice things? Yes. On a performance side, if I look at Jack's car, and I've said this to Jack for 2 or 3 years, if Jack Harvey said to me, listen, what are we missing? What can we buy? What money we don't need anything. We got it all. We have every part that we can possibly do to make the car better on the car, or an option to go on the car. So I think that's all to plan. I think the team, Jack is the driver now. We've been together for 4 years overall. This year is a big year for both of us. Both of us need to perform in order to keep our partnerships in place. And we're fixed on that, but we're not doing anything. We're keeping the intensity. We're working on our weaknesses, and I feel like we're in a pretty good place. I don't know if Jack Harvey agrees, but that's kind of how I feel about it. So.
Do you want me, Jack? Do you want me to cut Shank out of the call so that you can speak honestly, or are you comfortable reacting?
No, I think actually one of the best things about mine and Michael's relationship, maybe the best thing, is the level of honesty that we give each other, and that's been from that first phone call, in fact. And as you can imagine, it's not always roses and sunshine. There's been more than one difficult conversation, but the thing I appreciate about Michael and Jim, but I just experienced it maybe perhaps longer with Michael, is just the honesty. I always understood what the plan was. I think his description of how everything's gone, at least the short time that I've been with Michael, but actually a little bit longer than I thought it was. Everything has gone to plan, and it's been sustainable. And I personally think that Michael and Jim, for new teams trying to enter IndyCar, have actually probably reset the standard and the template of how you can have some longevity in such an incredibly difficult series, not just from competition stands, but it's not easy going out and trying to find good people, good partnerships and things like that. But I think Meyer-Shank Racing has done incredible in that department. And I think one of the words I heard him say was, managing expectations. And that's, when we first got together, that also was like managing our expectations of like what we want to do, like how quickly can we do it? Because all drivers want to go racing full time, like as quickly as you can. But I look at like our program now, and I feel like we're really set up to have success. And building to that and having success this year, we hope is going to lead to even longer program, in the future. So everything from the time we sat down in Detroit, after that first 500 and, really slowly mapped out this dream scenario, I can tell you that where we are today has exceeded every expectation that I thought we were going to have and going to do. And I think it's so exciting to be a part of this team all the time, but especially where we've gone, where we still think we can go, and what we can achieve, this year and hopefully for a few more years yet to come. So, I feel like we're in a prime position to have success because everything that we need, we have.
Fellas, I want to switch gears just quickly before I dispatch both of you to go on to actually have an enjoyable day. I'm going to start with you, Michael Shank. Tell me the stupidest thing that you have done during COVID-19.
Oh my Lord. The stupidest thing. I'm trying to think I don't know. Now you caught me off guard here. I don't know. I've been in some, I don't know. I don't want to.
Do you want to call a friend, or do you want to poll the audience?
I don't know. I probably spent, I can tell you. I'll tell you right now. Okay. I probably drank too many Busch Lights on the boat in the middle of quarantine in June. I'm just being honest with you. No. We sat, that May, June period when we were all kind of locked down. Yeah. Probably too much time and didn't help my liver at all.
Well, keep in mind, at least unlike the commercial for Busch beer, when you popped the top and it went Busch, you knew that it was a Busch beer.
You did. I did. That's probably been the dumbest thing. Otherwise, I've tried to be pretty cool. So,
all right, Harvey, you have to willow down the list of stupid things that you've done during COVID-19. So give me the number one on your list.
Mine's expansive compared to Michael's Busch Light escapades. As when you have time at home, you also have time to redecorate. And I feel like every room in our apartment got attention.
Yeah,
expensive attention.
All right, the expense comes into play, and that.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Nothing like reckless, but COVID was a bit more expensive than I initially had anticipated.
Hey, listen, it's always a pleasure to visit with you two guys, and looking forward to the start of the season. Finally, albeit a little bit delayed, as both of you have alluded to. You're on the brink of something great. And as I said when I brought you on board, not only that, but you're on the brink of becoming one of the top teams, entering that elite group. And I do wish you the very best. And thanks for joining us here on the Wind Tunnel.
Thank you, Jack. Love it, man.
Thanks, buddy.
We're hitting the brakes, but we'll be back on track after this. With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Hey, it's Christopher Bell, and you're listening to Jack Root's Wind Tunnel.
Let's get you up to speed with this week's news and notes. The NTT IndyCar Series continues to count down to their season opener at Barber Motorsports Park. And last week, some of the teams took an opportunity to test there. It marked the very first time that Formula One driver Romain Grosjean got a chance to shake down his Dale Coyne ride.
I mean, it's a different car, it's a different position, but apart from that, everything felt great and normal. You know, I just did get used to a new car. After the first run, my biceps started hurting a bit, and I was like, okay, now we're talking. The second one gets always better, the muscles are warmer. But yeah, that's a big difference. You really feel the car, where I guess you can drive it a little bit more with your driving style, the way you apply the brake and you turn in and so on. I've got tons of things to learn.
In the world of NASCAR, their Xfinity and Cup divisions completed their 3-race Florida swing with races at the 1.5-mile Homestead Miami Speedway. In the Xfinity Series, Tyler Reddick capitalized on race leader Myatt Snyder's wheel spin in the first overtime to take the lead, only to have the caution come out, taking the race into a second overtime. And on that restart, Snyder got a great launch and scored his first career victory in any of NASCAR's top divisions.
The stuff that I think back to is just all of the previous experiences that I've had with different race teams coming up into the sport. So it's just amazing to finally be in this position, to having won a NASCAR Xfinity race with a great sponsor like Tax Slayer, great team like Richard Childress Racing, other great partners like Louisiana Hot Sauce and Spear Essex, and just the amount of support that I have behind me is unreal. And I'm so happy for everybody.
By the way, Reddick, who crossed the finish line in second, eventually was disqualified after his car failed post-race inspection. Next up was NASCAR's Cup Series, and in this one, William Byron led 99 of the final stage's 107 laps on his way to earning his second career Cup victory.
Just was all about having the right restarts at the right time, and then saving my stuff and making sure I could make it live, like Rudy says. So it was just important to have that towards the end.
Byron became the third different driver to win in as many races this season, joining Michael McDowell, the Daytona 500 winner, and Christopher Bell, winner on Daytona's road course. And that's this week's news and notes.
I'm Kyle Rickey from MRN Radio, the voice of NASCAR. They are the foundation of American motorsports, the launching pad for racing's future. Time now for the Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap, brought to you by the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, driving local racing and local communities forward.
Well, occupying the center stage this week in our Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap is the Alaska Division I Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series state champion, who, by the way, captured the title in only his third year of pavement racing. We're talking about Stu Laidlaw. Hey, Stu, thanks so much for joining us. In only your third year of pavement racing, you go out and you win the state championship. How in the heck did you do that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's really a Cinderella story. We've only been on the paved surface for 3 years, as you mentioned, Jack, and we came from dirt. We driving dirt stock cars. And a friend of ours said, hey, I can't drive dirt anymore. He's a little older guy. And his doctor said, hey, you can't breathe the dirt anymore. So I'm going to drive on the paved surface. We said, hey, all right, we'll support you. And so we did it. I jumped into late model. The first year, we didn't know anything. I mean, we would get in the 60 lap feature. We would get lapped 3 times, maybe more. And so that's where we started. But we worked with a guy out of Northern California in Roseville. He's helped us systematically get proficiently more speed out of the car, driver, and our team. And so our second year, all we wanted to do was stay on the lead lap. Well, my crew chief think we could just go out and win races, which, you know, we were going for.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're blaming your crew chief. Any guy that drives a race car that's worth his salt gets in the car and thinks he can win as well. Don't BS a BSer. Seriously, you just wanted to finish on the lead lap. It was your crew chief that thought you could go out and win.
Well, he's confident in what we're doing. We've assembled a great team. We've had a lot of help doing it. Our third year, we wanted to get up there and compete with them. And although we weren't the fastest car through the season, although we had some days where we were really fast, we were the most consistent. And what we learned from this season, really, Jack, is just being consistent, finishing races on the podium. And that's really, at the end of the day, or at the end of the season, that's really what put us in a position to capture the title.
And when they made the announcement and they hand out all the trophies and the hardware, how did Stu Laidlaw and his entire crew feel that, you know, you'd climb that mountain in just 3 short years?
It truly is. It's a Cinderella story. I mean, to answer your question is my team believed in myself, what we're doing more than I did. I had actually lower expectations, you know, being more of a realist, but we had a lot of people that put a lot of time into this program, and we've had a lot of help, and I have the best team out at the track, bar none. From Dave White, my crew chief, to Ali, his assistant, to our social media people, and, you know, folks working with our sponsors. And, you know, just putting the whole package together has really invited more sponsorship, and you need money, you know, to race at this level.
It's just hard to believe that it's all taking place as far north as Alaska. You just don't think about it, especially when you consider the fact, as you know, there's 2 seasons up there, winter and the 4th of July.
That's right. That's right. And winter's longer, trust me.
Indeed. You know, that leads me to a question. When you do have a long winter, there's not a lot to do. Get the car ready to go. Raceway Park doesn't open, I believe, until the first week in May, your first shakedown. So that's a lot of time to twist and turn and tinker and maybe overthink what you need to do to get ready for 2021.
Yeah, there's a big break, but we're still working on our stuff all winter. And then as far as me getting seat time, I do a lot of iRacing.
Really?
And that helps me keep in the seat and race other guys on the track. And
so we're talking about iRacing, and I just kind of wonder, because during COVID-19 we saw a lot of iRacing at the IndyCar level, and we saw it, of course, on the Cup level as well. Drivers just trying to hone their skills. Have you ever locked horns with any of them on an unexpected afternoon or evening when you've sat behind your simulator?
I haven't. No, a lot of those races you have to be invited. and I haven't got that invitation yet, but maybe you can put a good word in for me, Jack. But I have raced guys from all over North America, Europe, on several of these races, and guys that do drive professionally.
You talk about Alaska Raceway Park. Tell me a little bit about what makes it special.
I think what makes it special is that we have top level racing right here in Alaska. It's a real treat because we're so distant and we're really disconnected from the lower 48 in a lot of ways. And the connection that we have with NASCAR has really made a difference for us. They've been really good to us, winning the championship. But Alaska's a special place. Jordan Anderson's been up here, drives trucks and has his truck team. And he came up here and he saw the scenery and just the track. It's a class A facility, world class. And he was blown away by the quality and the caliber of the ownership, to the competition, the racing in general. Of course, our track's fairly flat and he's not used to that. But once he got the track down, well, I'll just say that he spanked us that day. He did, but it was fun running with him. We got to run with him, and he was a great guy. But the pros that come up and top level motorsport drivers that come up here are just blown away by the quality that we have, and we're really spoiled. And we live in the most beautiful place on earth. That doesn't hurt either.
All right, so I want to know, now that you've won the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series Division I State Championship, now that you've got it down to the science of pavement racing, you got it all figured out. You've got people, you've got a crew. When is Stu Laidlaw going to compete in the Iditarod?
When you come up, Jack.
Well, that's a deal. I'll be up there.
A sled together.
Do you ever come in contact with any of those mushers and some of those people? Because, boy, that's the same passion that you see in auto racing.
Yeah, we do have interaction. With a matter of fact, Lance Mackey is multiple time champion. He does race out at Alaska Raceway Park.
Hey, Stu, take care and go get him.
Thank you for the time.
Hey, no, thank you, and take care.
Thank you, Jack. Enjoyed it.
Be sure to join us again next week for another trip to racing's grassroots with the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap. Brought to you by the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, advancing the next generation of drivers and champions. I'm Kyle Rickey from the Motor Racing Network.
Hey, by the way, Stu's home track, Alaska Raceway Park in Butte, Alaska, well, it'll be riding on the side of Ryan Blaney's car this weekend in Las Vegas, along with Meridian Raceway out of Meridian, Iowa. Their names will be on Blaney's car as associate sponsors. It's all part of Advanced Auto Parts' NASCAR Weekly Racing program. Now, should Ryan win, the tracks will receive $1,200. Hey, don't go anywhere, because up next, we're going to visit with the 2021 Daytona 500 champion when Michael McDowell joins me here in the wind tunnel.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
No spin, no bull, all Jack. The Wind Tunnel with Jack Harvey.
Hey, welcome back to episode 5 of our Jack Harvey's Wind Tunnel series. Just a quick reminder, be sure to subscribe to our show. It's available wherever you download your podcasting favorites.
Logano goes back up, Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow, Dillon on the bottom.
The run's on top. Oh! Teammates!
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Larson.
Caution is out. And Michael McDowell from Glendale, Arizona, for Bob Jenkins Front Row Motorsports, has won the Daytona 500.
How about that?
That is the way that the Daytona 500 ended just a few weeks ago. And our next guest was the first beneath the checkered flag to score his very first NASCAR Cup victory and forever to have his name on the Harley Earl Trophy as a Daytona 500 champion. Originally from Glendale, Arizona, he is Michael McDowell. Hey, Michael, first of all, thanks for venturing inside the wind tunnel. Got to tell you, Daytona 500 champion has a really nice ring to it.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, it's still a little bit unbelievable, just just fighting so hard to stay in the sport and to have an opportunity, and to get my first win at Daytona at the Daytona 500 is it's what dreams are made of, right? You just have a hard time fathoming, that it's even a possibility. So just really thankful, to have the opportunity to drive for Front Row Motorsports and to, just be in position. And, I've been in the position before and just made the wrong choices, didn't have the push, went in the wrong lane, and, to finally get it done and to finally win a race, it's just meant so much to myself and my team and my family.
As you said, it's over 350 races before you broke into victory lane. How much perseverance did you have to exhibit? Because you went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and then finally, and you could hear it in your voice as you took your cool down lap, finally it all came together and your dream came true.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think the journey of, like you said, the grinding it out is what made it so special, right? Because, we're all human. And so there's lots of times of like just doubt of, man, what am I doing? And, especially in those years where I was just trying to make the races and start and parking and, you'd have things on the track happen, you might blow a tire and cost somebody a race or something like that. And you're just like, man, what am I doing? Like, why am I even here? It just doesn't really make sense. But, I sort of always kind of held on to that hope that if I just work hard, keep making these races, keep trying to, just fight for it, that I'll get an opportunity. And I did. And it wasn't all at once, right? Like it was, I'd get a couple races here for Joe Gibbs Racing, or, I got a couple races for Team Penske, and those went well, and those gave me, life. And then, you would make a couple big races, and then obviously, my big break came when Bob and Sharon Levine, allowed me to drive that 95 full time. And, even that was a small team, underfunded. They were starting parking, and we went, from start parking to racing, and from racing, in the mid 20s, high 20s to low 20s, then to teens, and things were really going well, and we were building something. And then I got replaced, and I'm like, man, how am I going to recover from this? How am I got to start over. And so there was definitely those moments where, you get down, but just so thankful, thankful that Bob Jenkins, picked me up when I was down and gave me an opportunity to drive this Love's Travel Stop Ford Mustang. And same thing, we've just been building and growing and getting better and better. And, Daytona is an opportunity race. We know that, but just over the last 3 years, we've just improved so much everywhere, that it's fun to be a part of this organization and fun to be a part of the growth.
You talk about you being fired, and there's no way to sugarcoat it, from Levine Family Racing to make way for another driver. I recall vividly being at New Hampshire Motor Speedway after that news broke, walked up to you, and I said, God, I feel bad for you. And you took the positive spin. All you said, and I've never forgotten it, is, I'll be okay.
Yeah. I think it's just having that mindset of like, man, I've just seen God provide over and over again. Every time I've been at like, oh, it's over, what am I going to do? Just something pops up. And so you just never lose hope with it, that, that something will come up. And even if it doesn't, you're still going to be all right. Like you got air to breathe, and you have a mind to think, and you can work hard and do anything. And it doesn't matter, what it is. I mean, if you have the desire, you can do it. And so, I like I said, I'm thankful. I'm one of 40 guys every weekend, let alone now have won a race, let alone won the biggest race. And, you know, to be a Daytona 500 champion is just, it's an amazing story, not just my story of perseverance, but everybody around me, my family, my wife, my kids, partners, you know, I mean, everybody persevered with us. I mean, motorsports is such it's bigger than just the driver, you know, and it doesn't always show that, but there's so many people that are part of this.
You know, there's a certain element of the 7 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon in your career. Started out in open wheels and ran in Champ Car for a limited series, and you were an instructor. And one of your students ended up being whom?
Yeah, a lot of race winners now, you know. I mean, it's been crazy. I've worked with so many guys that, you know, went on to win races, you know, Trevor Bayne and Ricky, and I mean, just so many drivers that it's you know, it was rewarding, but at the same time it kind of sucked, you know. You're like, man, I helped these guys and I taught them a lot, and now they're having success and I'm still not, you know. It's hard not to think like that, but it's just been an amazing journey, and coaching and instructing helped me stay in the game. I mean, you know, I got hired by Michael Waltrip Racing to work with Trevor. I got hired by Joe Gibbs Racing to work with their, you know, young drivers, and you know, I got hired by Team Penske to do their development and to, you know, to test for them, you know, during the week. And all those little touches are such big moments for me. It's what kept me in the sport.
You know, as you went to victory lane, it was reminiscent of when Dale Earnhardt Sr. finally broke down the Daytona 500 barrier. I can't think of a single crew that didn't celebrate your victory, and that had to make you feel very, very good.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, like you said, that's super special, just because of all those years of grinding it out, and you kind of felt out of place, and you felt like what are you doing? You know, people saw that. People saw me working hard and fighting hard for it. And like you said, the response from the industry and the community of NASCAR, I mean, it's just been overwhelming. Just like you said, it was one of those moments where everybody was genuinely happy and excited that I, you know, got to do something that, you know, most thought I would never have an opportunity to do. So it's very special.
Well, since that victory, you've been pretty darn busy. As I said to your PR guy, kind of like drinking out of a fire hydrant. But I want to circle back, because you had an interview with someone way outside the sport, Coach K, and he paid you a compliment, and was absolutely fascinated by your journey. What did that mean to Michael McDowell?
Yeah, that was really a special interview, like you said. You know, outside of my world, right? I've never played any sport. You know, I grew up racing go-karts and basketball, baseball, football. I mean, if you saw me play, you'd die laughing, right? I mean, it's just not in my wheelhouse. So, you know, to have that interview with Coach K and you know, but I think that athletes and professionals in general, leaders, there's still that common bond that you have, and those common core values that make people good at what they do, right? So it was fun to talk with him and talk about those things that make champions stand out, right? And I never thought of myself as like, oh, I got the DNA for a champion. I just don't think like that. It's not my personality, you know. But just to hear him say like, hey, you got it, you got the stuff. Like, I know what the stuff is, and you got it. That was awesome. It really meant a lot.
Listen, it's been a real treat to visit with you and celebrate with you your Daytona 500 victory. Before I let you go, how heavy is that Harley Earl trophy to lift high above your head?
It's super heavy. You know, you watch, right? You watch on TV and you're like, come on, man. Like, you're a race car driver. Pick that thing up, you know, like, why are you struggling? It's heavy. I don't know how heavy it is, but it's 30 or 40 pounds, and it's awkwardly shaped, right? It's like, it's not round, it's not square, it's not rectangular. It's just very awkwardly shaped. So the weight of it wants to tip. And so, yeah, it is not an easy trophy to handle. So right now I got it on the pedestal, just let it sit there and not carry it around too much.
Listen, we appreciate it. Best of luck for the rest of 2021. You're already playoff bound, and I'll leave with this observation, which is mine personally. Whether it's inside the sport or outside the sport, your journey and the way you have treated it will end up being an incredible inspiration for people that now and again want to quit, and they can look at Michael McDowell and say, no, I still got something down deep inside to prove, and I won't quit.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Would you like to be part of these Wind Tunnel podcasts? Well, guess what? You can. Email us, jackarootswindtunnel@gmail.com, or better yet, call our hotline at 413-566-6206 and record your comments and questions. By the way, you can also post on our website, jackarootswindtunnel.com.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Eddie! Malcolm!
Time to see what you got!
Well, my grandson, Jason Stacks, is rehearsing for his drama department's production of High School Musical. So for the next couple of episodes, I'll be flying solo with Mail Call. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Joseph Newgarden was inside the wind tunnel, and he revealed that he really didn't have a nickname. And if you remember, he threw it open to you for some ideas. Steve Sekulian picked the low-hanging fruit with his nickname ideas. Says, Jack, call him J-New. Come on, Steve. I know that you can do better than that. Then there was George Phillips, who channeled his love for the TV sitcom Seinfeld, writing, and I quote, George Costanza always wanted to be called T-Bone. George. Are you intimating that the 2019 NTT IndyCar champion reminds you of the Bumbler? What's next? Roger Penske playing the role of Hello, Newman? But Greg Waddles may have come up with the very best one, and I promise that I will pass it along to Joseph. He just wrote, Jack, call him Pitbull. I like it. But the question is, will Joseph? Well, that's it for this week's Mail Call. That will bring another episode of the Wind Tunnel to close. Many thanks to this week's guests, Stu Laidlaw, Michael McDowell, Jack Harvey, and Meyer-Shank. Now remember, each week we bring you another episode for your podcasting enjoyment and hope that you will subscribe to the entire series wherever you download your podcasts. Oh, and by the way, how about sharing Jackaroot's Wind Tunnel podcast with your social media friends? Who knows? They might like what they hear. Until next week, everyone, take care of yourselves and look out for others. After all, we all are in this together. So long, everyone.
Today's trip to the Wind Tunnel was brought to you by
Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR.